morning dish.
He's the hardest working man in show business. His band's music takes you into the midnight hours. And when you wake up, his voice is back on your radio alarm clock. How on earth did this happen?
Well, Jeff saw me taking out the trash at the radio station.
And he won another award.
But this one is better.
I'm your boogeyman. That's what I am.
It's the Morning Dish with the 2019 Radio Personality of the Year winner, Stephen Phillips.
You paying attention to this, Packy?
And Murphy's own Sherry Raines.
Yeah, you must have given horseback passes to the right guy, Stephen.
Well, giddy up.
And Packy Smith's Shetland pony is right alongside.
You guys know these demo tapes don't just edit themselves together, right?
Well, all right.
3 cheers for Stephen Phillips.
Y'all need to help Stephen Phillips out over there. Out the door and off the radio.
Here's Stephen Phillips.
All right, folks, we're back with you, and I am excited to have Ned LeDoux. Y'all know Chris LeDoux, but this is his offspring that is carrying on. I guarantee it. How are you, brother?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Man, I am glad you called. I guarantee it. I've always been a big fan of your dad's. I guarantee it. And I guess Garth Brooks, if it wasn't for your dad, they wouldn't be a Garth Brooks the way I look at it, because he kind of followed his footsteps as far as the show goes. But now here you are, still at it.
Yeah. I got to actually play drums for my dad, and for, 6.5, almost 7 years, so just to be part of that show, man, it was rodeo rock and roll.
He really put on a powerhouse show. Now, is your shows pretty much like that? I mean, you've got the rocking the stage and all that's going on?
Well, I don't do the pyro or the bucking machine.
Right.
'Cause that was Dad's thing. He was a world champion bareback rider.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't me. So, but of course, watching my dad's show and growing up with him and everything, it's kind of rubbed off onto me a little bit, and of course, when I go see a concert, I want to be entertained.
Oh, yeah.
I want that, the price of the ticket to be worth it. Mm-hmm. So that's what we try to do.
Well, you do good. I love your music. Now, you write your stuff. You write your songs.
Yeah, I write most of it. Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, I guarantee you that. You've got a couple of albums out, and one of them, I guess, was produced by Mac McAnally. Did you have one of your albums produced by him?
If it wasn't for Mac McAnally, I probably wouldn't be talking to you right now. He has kind of opened the door for me in the songwriting and just how to piece phrases and things like that together, and so he's been my producer from the very beginning. And any song that I've written, I've always kind of pitch it to Mac,
right.
Just kind of see what kind of what he thinks, if there's any suggestions, and a lot of times he'll just throw it back at me and say, "Man, it sounds great, good job, proud of you." And then other times he goes, "Well, I do have a few little things I'd like to change up if you don't mind." I was like, "Well, shoot, I don't care at all." So yeah, it's been wonderful to work with Mac.
Well, that's a pretty good start right there. That's one of the best. There's no doubt. But one of the things we've talked to a lot of different people like Georgette Jones and Dean Miller and that kind of stuff. When you go on stage, you don't do your dad's show. You do your own thing. That's what I'm trying to get out. You've got your own show, your own songs. Yeah. But do you get a lot of people wanting you to do his stuff?
Yeah, we do our own thing, but you're also guaranteed to hear some of my dad's songs.
Right.
And when I first started doing this thing, of course I played drums for over 30 years or more in a lot of different bands, and then I just got into, doing what I'm doing now probably 6 or 7 years ago is all.
Right.
But when I started learning songs and everything, the only songs I ever bothered learning was my dad's songs. Mm-hmm. I never thought of learning anybody else's songs except for his. And so that's what I got started doing. And so, so during our show, you're going to hear a lot of my stuff, but you're also guaranteed to hear some of my dad's old classics as well.
Well, now, your dad was a bronc rider. He did all the cowboy stuff. Do you do some of that too, or not?
Well, I never did rodeo myself, but I grew up on a ranch outside of KC, Wyoming, and we still have the ranch out there. And so I grew up doing that, for most of my life, and I kind of followed my granddad around. He taught me how to build fence and work cows and everything that's involved with a working ranch. And I get back into it every now and then, but I'm doing what I love to do, and that's play music. And it's always been the dream, and I'm lucky to be living it.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you that cowboy, and that's some hard work. I know it looks good on paper, but golly, I tried it one time. I got killed by a horse. I decided I ain't John Wayne, so I just went back to riding motorcycles. You can have all that. But now your music, I mean, that's the thing about it. The pop country stuff you hear on the radio, I cannot stand it. But now you have got some really cool stuff, and I don't know if you call it Texas-style music or what, but I mean, I think y'all folks out there listening, you're going to love it, and you need it. Just go to nedledoux.com. But now you've got a new album that's fixing to release here, the spring of 2022?
Yeah, that's the plan, and we'll probably try to get something available for streaming, maybe throw a couple of songs out there before the full album comes out. But and I know I said this about my first two albums, how excited I am to have people hear it, but I'm going to say the same thing about this one, but there's something a little different about this one. I don't know what it is, but it took me about 2 years to finally get this one recorded as far as the writing stuff goes. And but yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Well, it's going to be, I can't wait to hear it. You've got that one, what is it? I'm Old Country, or what is that one song you've got? I can't even think. Old Fashioned, I think it's called Old Fashioned. I'm still
old fashioned, yeah.
Yeah, that's right down my alley. I guarantee you, I'm still old fashioned.
Yeah, I think I got the idea for that out in Prescott, Arizona, and we played a show, and it started kind of raining right after the show, and they gave us a little RV to kind of hang out in, and I can't remember when I walked onto the trailer, somebody asked me if I needed something, and I can't remember what it was now, but they called me old fashioned.
Right.
I said, and I was kind of in the songwriting mode. I was kind of working on stuff for the last album I put out. And I was like, that might be kind of a good idea for a song. So,
right.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being a little set in your ways.
I don't think so at all. I guarantee if we was more like our papaws and grannies, all this crazy stuff wouldn't be going on we've got right now. But now you have opened up for Garth Brooks a couple of times. Yeah.
We recently played a show with him out in Cheyenne, Wyoming for Frontier Days, which was an amazing event.
Well, now he does auditoriums. I mean, he does thousands and thousands of people. That'd have to be a blast.
Yeah. Well, he's been playing football stadiums.
Yeah.
Lately, But Cheyenne Frontier Days kind of holds a special meaning for me and my family. Is of course my dad rodeoed there. He never did win the rodeo at Cheyenne, but he came really close. But I remember he used to sell merchandise and stuff in a booth,
right?
Just kind of out in the midway there at Cheyenne, and he would play little gigs around town, and then fast forward a few years, and he's starting to get major success, and then they asked him to play the main stage at Cheyenne, and he said, man, if there's such a thing as a Grand Ole Opry of the West, Cheyenne Frontier Days is it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been just tickled to death to be able to play that same stage, over the past bunch of years, and and to share it with Garth Brooks was pretty awesome.
Yeah. I can only imagine. I don't know. I feel kind of like Nashville sold out a little bit, and right now most of the music's coming from the West. I feel like Texas and that kind of stuff, because there's a lot of guys out there trying to make it. And they don't even play Alan Jackson on the radio anymore, which is sad. And it makes it hard on somebody trying to get out and get heard and let them hear their songs. And but like I said, I love your stuff, and your dad, man. I admire him. We've listened to him forever and ever and ever. I guess his stardom really hit when Garth Brooks talked about him in his song, right? That's kind of where it kicked him off. Or he was doing good till that point, but that kind of skyrocketed him at that point.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, he was already having a really good career. His fan base is almost like this underground cult cowboy following or something. And
mm-hmm.
But yeah, when Garth mentioned him in that song, Much Too Young to Feel This Damn Old. It introduced, Dad's rodeo, ranch family fans, to Garth Brooks, but it also introduced the millions of fans that Garth has to Dad. So It made for a pretty good friendship on down the road.
Well, now you've got your own family now, right? Don't you have a new youngin'?
We have an 11-year-old boy.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they grow up quick, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they're gonna get in that teenage years, and then the driving, and that's when you're really gonna start writing some good songs.
Yeah, yeah. I'll just take it a day at a time.
There you go. I guarantee it. But let me ask you this now: when you do your dad's songs, what are some of the standards that you just have to do?
Let's see. We got Western Skies.
Right.
This Cowboy's Hat. 8-Second Ride, Cadillac Cowboy. And the rest, you're just going to have to come out to the show to find out.
There you go. I guarantee it. Now, if these folks want to keep up with you, most of your stuff is on, what is your website?
NedLeDoux.com. And you can also, you can stream us. We're on, all the streaming things. And we're on all the social media platforms, things like that. But yeah, I try to direct people to NedLeDoux.com. You can, there's merchandise there. There's tour date schedules. Everything you need is in one location.
So let me ask you something. Now you're in there with Mac McAnally, and y'all out there with this new album coming out. And CDs is gone, which was supposed to be the new thing. And records, some people are doing records now, which I don't know if that's going to last. How are you releasing this? Have you thought about if you're going with CDs or records or?
We still have CDs. And I just put out my first two albums on vinyl a few months ago. It might have been almost a year ago, I think, that we had those printed on vinyl. But with our crowd, we love playing live, and the CDs still sell well for us. Because I tell people, hey, I can't sign a digital copy. So
no,
get you a CD at the merch table, and I'll be there at the after the show and sign it for you.
Mm-hmm. So now your two albums you got, what is it? Sagebrush and what's the other one? Next in Line.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And so they're out now. So this new album, what is it going to be called? Can I ask that?
What's it going to be called?
Yeah. What's the name of the new album?
We haven't really narrowed it down. I'd hate to say something and have it change, but we're still working on that. This is that might be one of the hardest things to come up with is a title for an album. Right. It's kind of like naming your child. You're going to have to live with it, or they will. Right. Like Boy Named Sue or something like that. You just have to live with that.
That works good. I guarantee it. But anyway, Ned, like I said, we wish you well, and I am so appreciate you giving us a call, and hopefully some of these fans will go to NedLeDoux.com, check this out, check out his album, download his music, follow him on all your social media platforms that you can come up with. You're going to love his stuff. If you like his dad, you're going to love him, no doubt about it. And like I said, super, super, super great guy. And I'll be seeing you out there on the road somewhere.
I hope so. Yeah.
I'm always the guy in the back yelling "Freebird."
Oh yeah. Our favorite thing was "Stairway to Freebird," man.
There you go. I'm like, kick him out, security, kick him out. So anyway, but now, Ned, we appreciate you, man, and appreciate what you're doing. And like I said, thank you for giving us a call and letting us talk to you just a little bit and see what's going on.
Well, thanks for the time there.
Thank you for spending a little time with us. And remember, you can tune in every morning at WJULradio.com at 8 a.m. Eastern. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel and like us on Facebook, The Morning Dish.